Hey guys, this is Zach2Ks. Welcome back to Unsensed Nerd. Today we're going to be talking about the legendary MonsterVerse. This is of course because of the release of Godzilla vs. King Kong. Now we're going to go over a couple of things, mainly the timeline of the MonsterVerse up to this point, just to catch you up on things you might have missed, and then I'm also going to give you a little bit of my thoughts on the movie. Without further ado, let's get into it. In 1946, the multi-government organization of Monarch was created. In 1954, Godzilla was awakened by the USS Nautilus. The Nautilus, of course, is a reference to Jules Verne's book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, where he has a ship of the same name. There was a nuclear weapon detonated on Bikini Atoll. This was while they were trying to cover up their attempts to kill Godzilla. In 1973, we see the events of Kong Skull Island. In this, John Goodman leads a team to the island and we discover skull crawlers and, of course, the mighty King Kong. In 1999, a strip mining operation stumbles upon Titans. This time one of them escapes, and we also get a new name for them. They're designated Massive Unidentified Terrestrial Organisms, or MUTOs for short. Also in 1999, a reactor in Genera, Japan has a meltdown. This is caused by a MUTO attaching itself to the planet's reactor. In 2014, this MUTO detaches. Now he goes on a rampage into Hawaii. During this rampage, Titans are revealed to the world. We also see the female MUTO awaken, and it destroys and levels Las Vegas. After this casino destruction, Godzilla kills both of these MUTOs in San Francisco. In the wake of their battle, Mark and Emma Russell lose their son, and we'll meet them later. In 2016, Monarch finds a Mothra egg in China. They also find Rodan in Mexico and Ghidorah in the Arctic ice. In 2019, Emma Russell helps eco-terrorists steal her Orca device. In doing so, she awakens Rodan and Ghidorah, who has been dubbed Monster Zero. They're taking a Thanos approach, this eco-terrorist team. They're trying to wipe out certain parts of the population to make the world a little bit more inhabitable. During the terrorist attack, a bunch of the other Titans are awoken. It all leads to Boston. Godzilla kills Ghidorah in Boston. Unfortunately, Beantown is destroyed in this massacre.
What? No!
But after this, Godzilla is crowned king. So now we've caught you up, let's talk a little bit about my thoughts of the movie. So I did see it today. I enjoyed a lot of the movie. I thought it was very, very entertaining. And the fight scenes were there, if that's what you were expecting. If you came into this Godzilla vs. Kong movie to see Godzilla vs. Kong, that's exactly what you see.
Let them fight.
Now, the movie's not perfect, but neither were its predecessors. I did enjoy the other three, 2014's Godzilla. We also got to see the Godzilla King of Monsters and Kong Skull Island. All three of those were really, really enjoyable and entertaining. The one real problem I have with this one that I didn't really have with the other ones is the human story. I know a lot of people have been talking about that, and I honestly didn't have a problem with the other three with that particular issue, but for some reason in this one, I just didn't really care. For one thing, they have the side story with Eleven. I know she's not 11, she's Millie Bobby Brown, but for the sake of this video, we're calling her 11. And I just didn't really feel for that side story. It felt a little bit to me like the side story in Last Jedi, where there's the casino planet, and it's just really, really not needed in there. I don't really know what their whole point was, but we did get to see some pretty funny things from that conspiracy theorist. He was pretty funny, but I will say the lack of just pure security in that Apex facility is pretty outstanding. For whatever reason, they didn't get caught until way later than they should have. It just didn't really seem realistic, especially for a military facility. That was one thing that kind of rubbed against me the wrong way. I do like in the beginning how we're introduced to a much older Kong. Kong Skull Island takes place in 1973, like we talked about in the timeline, and now this is 2020. He's just clearly aged, he's a little bit older, and that introduction with the music and everything on his fake Skull Island, it was pretty funny. I enjoyed it quite a bit. The other problem that kind of came across in this movie is the same thing that happens to a lot of movies, whether it's RoboCop, Alien, Resident Evil, Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, even Soylent Green. It's all this evil corporation that's clearly evil, and yet you're supposed to trust them and work with them, but obviously they're gonna stab you in the back. We've seen this so many times at this point, it's a cliche, and it was easy to spot a mile away. As the second we get introduced to the Apex facility, we're just like, yeah, these are the bad guys, duh, obviously. And it just went from there. But at the end of the day, that's not what I came to the movie for. I didn't come to the movie to see this incredible narrative. I knew what I was getting, and I was to be just entertained by these giant rampage-like characters on screen, and I definitely was. It was a fun time. The action was incredible. I do like how they represented certain things with Kong. I think he was probably the main character of this whole thing, but they made him really intelligent, which was a nice touch, because, you know, primate, they're supposed to be kind of this very intellectual species that we can, you know, learn from just as much as we can teach, which I like the idea of Kong being, you know, that in this movie, and that was his main strength. He didn't have fire breath, he didn't have, you know, razor sharp claws or any of the stuff that Godzilla has, but he has his intelligence and his ability to use weapons, and that was just really cool to see. I also like that he spoke sign language. That interaction with him and the little girl when he first reveals that he knows, it's really, really well done. And just the fact that the connection with his little girl is really easy to read, I enjoyed that a lot too. She was actually one of the highlights of the movie for me as well. That young actress has a really bright future. She was really good. The Mechagodzilla stuff was a little bit obvious. They didn't spoil it in any of the trailers or anything like that, but it just felt like obviously they're gonna do a Mechagodzilla in this movie. I don't know what it was, but something just tipped me off even before this movie even came out months ago. I just had that feeling. And of course it's in here in spades and kind of serves as the doomsday plot point from Batman vs. Superman, if you will, for this movie, where he's kind of there to unite the two fighting characters of Godzilla and King Kong respectively and be that opposing antagonist to make them come together. It was okay. I guess it was well executed enough to make me still enjoy the action and not take me completely out of the whole movie. One thing that I do think kind of took me out a little bit was just the aesthetic of the technology just didn't really fit. What I will say about it though is it was really, really cool. I do like what I saw, and it would be great in a movie. It just didn't feel like it was great in this movie. If it was in a more sci-fi movie, like, honestly, this director could do Tron, and I think that would be incredible. If Disney gave him the reins for that, with what he saw and how his eye was for this movie, I think that would be really, really cool looking, especially because in this movie, there's more neon than Batman and Robin, and it's pretty noticeable.
Never leave the cave without it.
Like I said throughout this whole video, the fighting was entertaining, and it was just really fun. Now, am I really gonna remember this movie a year from now? Probably not, but I'll remember it when I rewatch my marathon of the MonsterVerse. I did enjoy the other ones. I think this is a good piece to fit into the other ones. The other ones kind of remind me of the Fast and Furious franchise, where they're not super serious, they know they're a little ridiculous, but they're just a good time. That's something that the Transformers series tried to do. It just didn't really connect, didn't really work with them. But I feel like this universe, they felt that a little bit. They've done a good job of making you, you know, care enough to want to keep seeing the next ones, and I'm definitely going to see the next one if there's another one. At the end of the day, I'd say it was definitely worth watching. I don't know if it's something that I'm definitely going to own and put in my collection, but it's something I'm going to go back to, and I'm sure it's not the last time I'm going to see this movie. So what about you guys? Have you seen Godzilla vs. King Kong yet? What did you think? You think I got everything right? Do you think that there's something I should add to my thoughts? Let us know down below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to keep up to date with all the great nerd word, make sure you turn notifications on. I've been Zach2Ks. Have a great day.